Here is a number that should make you grip your steering wheel a little tighter. The average American household spends over $2,200 on gasoline every single year. That is not a rounding error. That is a car payment. That is a vacation. That is money that disappears, gallon by gallon, fill up by fill up, at pumps designed to make you feel like you have no choice. But here is the thing, you do have a choice. And the difference between making the right one and the wrong one can cost you, or save you, anywhere from $400 to over $800 a year. Not because of how much you drive, not because of what you drive, simply because of which sign is hanging above the pump when you swipe your card. Today, MotorMind is doing what the oil companies and the franchise operators will never do. We are naming names. 6 gas station brands that are quietly, consistently, and in some cases brazenly overcharging you every time you pull up to their pumps. And then 3 brands, just 3, that are actually competing for your dollar instead of mining it. And get this, one of the 3 cheapest gas station chains in America is one that most drivers pass right by without a second thought every single week. Stick around until the end, because that one might genuinely change where you stop on your next commute. Let us get into it. Brand 1 to avoid. Shell is the most recognized fuel brand on Earth. Over 44,000 stations in the United States alone. The red and yellow scallop shell has been a fixture of the American roadside for over a century. And Shell knows exactly how much that name recognition is worth, because they charge you for it at every single fill-up. Here is the thing. According to OPS fuel pricing data, Shell stations average 8 to 12 cents above the national price per gallon mean. That does not sound catastrophic until you do the math. If you drive an average vehicle with a 14-gallon tank and fill up twice a week, that Shell premium costs you between $117 and $175 extra per year. For fuel that is functionally identical to what comes out of the same regional pipeline as the station across the street. Shell's entire pricing justification rests on one word: V-Power. Their V-Power Nitro Plus premium fuel is real, it is top-tier certified, and the detergent additive package does provide measurable engine cleanliness benefits over low-grade options. The real kicker is that the marketing machine behind V-Power vastly outpaces the actual performance benefit for the average driver in a standard commuter vehicle running regular octane fuel. You are paying a premium for premium branding on a product most of your engines do not require. Add to this Shell's real estate strategy. They aggressively target high-traffic, high-visibility corner lots, locations that cost more to lease and operate, costs that flow straight to the price on the sign. Bottom line, you are paying for Shell's marketing budget, their real estate portfolio, and a century of brand equity every time you choose that scallop Shell over the station next door. Shell is not a bad product, it is an overpriced one. And in the fuel market, those are very different problems. Brand 2 to avoid, BP. If you were alive in 2010, you remember Deepwater Horizon, the worst offshore oil spill in American history. 11 workers killed, nearly 5 million barrels of crude dumped into the Gulf of Mexico. BP spent the next decade and somewhere north of $65 billion in cleanup costs, legal settlements, and an aggressive reputation rehabilitation campaign. Here is where it gets truly interesting. A significant portion of that financial devastation flowed back through BP's supply chain, its franchise pricing structures, and ultimately to you, the consumer at the pump. BP stations consistently average 6 to 10 cents above the national mean per gallon, according to GasBuddy tracking data. And unlike Shell's at least coherent V-Power narrative, BP's premium is harder to justify with a straight face. The BPME Rewards program is the brand's answer to the obvious question, why should I pay more here? On the surface, it looks generous. Points per gallon, mobile discounts, partner rewards. The real kicker is buried in the terms. Discount tiers reset. Points expire on accelerated timelines. The 5 cents per gallon discount that drew you into the app in the first place evaporates the moment you miss a month of fill-ups. It is a loyalty program designed around retention, not savings. And get this, BP's US retail operation carries significant spot market exposure. Unlike companies with deep, vertically integrated refinery ownership on the domestic retail side, BP's US franchise network is disproportionately dependent on wholesale spot pricing. When crude spikes, BP stations spike faster and recover, slower than competitors with tighter supply chain control. Translation: BP's corporate structure means price volatility hits your wallet first and hardest. You are not paying for better fuel. You are paying for a brand that spent a fortune trying to make you forget 2010. Brand 3 to avoid, Chevron. Chevron has one of the most effective marketing campaigns in the fuel industry. One word, Techron. If you have spent more than 10 minutes watching television in the last 30 years, you know the Techron name. It sounds medical. It sounds precise. It sounds like the kind of thing your engine desperately needs. Here is the thing, Techron is real. Chevron's polyethylamine detergent additive package genuinely does clean fuel injectors and intake valves, and it carries top-tier certification, the industry's recognized standard for deposit control additives. That part of the story is not a lie. What is a lie by omission is what Chevron does not tell you, that virtually every major fuel brand sold at top-tier certified stations, including many far cheaper competitors, uses comparable detergent additive packages that meet or exceed the same EPA and OEM standards. You are paying 7 to 11 cents per gallon above the national average for Techron branding on a benefit that the station down the street provides at a lower price point. Chevron is particularly dominant in California and the Pacific Northwest, markets where structural factors, state fuel taxes, reformulated fuel mandates, limited pipeline infrastructure already push prices higher than the national average. In those markets, Chevron's premium sits on top of an already elevated baseline. The consumer in Sacramento or Portland is not just paying the Chevron tax, they are paying the California tax, the reformulated fuel tax, and then the Techron tax on top of that. And get this, Chevron's station density in those high-cost markets means that in many suburban and rural California corridors, your nearest alternative is another Chevron. Competition keeps prices honest. The absence of competition keeps Chevron comfortable. Bottom line, Techron is a solid additive. It is not a 7 to 11 cent per gallon additive. If you are driving a standard commuter vehicle in good mechanical condition, you are buying a marketing story at a meaningful premium. If MotorMind has already saved you a trip to the wrong pump, hit that like button right now and subscribe. We publish the kind of automotive and consumer truth that the brands behind these logos spend millions trying to keep off your radar. Brand 4 to avoid, ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil is the largest publicly traded energy company on the planet. Their 2023 annual revenue topped $398 billion. They have the refinery capacity, the pipeline infrastructure, the supply chain scale, and the global purchasing power to be one of the most competitively priced fuel brands in America. They choose not to be. OPIS data consistently places Exxon and Mobil branded stations 8 to 13 cents above the national average per gallon, among the highest premiums of any major chain. The justification follows Chevron's playbook almost identically, a branded additive package called Synergy, top-tier certification, and the implicit suggestion that the ExxonMobil name on the pump means something worth paying for. The Synergy fuel story is technically accurate in the same way Chevron's Techron story is technically accurate. The detergent additives are real. The top-tier certification is real. The price premium relative to the actual marginal benefit is, once again, a stretch that only works if you never run the numbers. Here is where it gets truly infuriating. ExxonMobil's Rewards Plus loyalty program has faced documented consumer backlash for point devaluation, the quiet, unannounced process by which a company reduces what your accumulated rewards are worth. Without changing the nominal number in your account, you earn points thinking they are worth a certain amount, and by the time you redeem, the purchasing power has quietly eroded. This is not a practice unique to ExxonMobil, but few brands operate at their scale with their premium pricing while simultaneously degrading the loyalty proposition. Translation: you are paying top-of-market prices at the pump and getting a loyalty program that is worth less than it appears on the screen. That is not a value exchange. That is a wealth transfer from your wallet to $398 billion in annual revenue. Brand 5 to avoid, Marathon Petroleum Corporation operates the largest refinery system in the United States, 13 refineries, nearly 3 million barrels of crude processing capacity per day. If any fuel company had the structural advantage to pass refinery efficiency savings directly to consumers at the pump, it is Marathon. They do not. Marathon, branded retail stations, concentrated primarily across the Midwest, Southeast, and Mid-Atlantic, average 5 to 9 cents above regional price benchmarks according to GasBuddy tracking data. That gap may seem smaller than Shell or ExxonMobil's premium, but the context makes it more frustrating, not less. A company with Marathon's refinery ownership and throughput capacity has the lowest possible input cost basis of almost any domestic fuel retailer. The savings exist. They simply do not travel from the refinery gate to the consumer pump. Why? because Marathon's retail franchise model gives individual station operators significant latitude in setting their own margins. In markets with robust competition, urban corridors with multiple competing brands within a mile, Marathon operators are forced toward competitive pricing. But in the markets where Marathon has built its retail density, rural Midwestern towns, smaller southeastern cities, interstate corridors with limited alternatives, franchise operators set prices according to what the market will bear rather than what the refinery costs would justify. And get this, Marathon's convenience store operations under the Speedway and Marathon banners are among the highest revenue per location in the country. The in-store margin subsidizes the fuel operation in reverse of the warehouse club model. Instead of using cheap fuel to drive foot traffic, Marathon stations use premium fuel pricing to subsidize the convenience store's operating costs. You are paying more at the pump so that the hot dog roller and the fountain drinks turn a better margin. The real kicker is that the very scale that should make Marathon the most efficient, lowest-cost fuel option in America has instead created a franchise ecosystem optimized for operator profit rather than consumer value. The biggest refinery system in the country and the consumer at the pump is still getting charged like they are buying gas in an airport terminal. Are you seeing Marathon stations dominate your local market with premium prices? Drop your city in the comments. We want to know which corridors are paying the Marathon tax hardest. Brand 6 to avoid. Sunoco has one of the more interesting origin stories in American fuel retail. Founded in 1886, it spent over a century as a regional value brand with genuine consumer credibility, particularly in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic markets. Then Energy Transfer LP acquired it, and the value proposition quietly evaporated. Today, Sunoco stations average 6 to 10 cents above the national mean per gallon. But the more revealing number is not the price per gallon. It is the location strategy. Sunoco has aggressively concentrated its station density around captive audience environments, interstate highway exits, airport approach roads, urban toll road interchanges. Locations where the driver's alternative is running out of fuel, not driving to a cheaper competitor 3 miles away. Here is the thing. Location-based pricing is not illegal, but it is a very clear signal about what a brand thinks of its customers. A company that genuinely competes on value does not cluster its stations where price sensitivity is lowest. A company that clusters around captive audiences is telling you, in its site selection data, exactly how it views you, as a volume unit to be extracted rather than a customer to be retained. Sunoco's convenience store cross-subsidy model compounds the problem. Energy Transfer LP has optimized the Sunoco retail footprint for in-store revenue generation, with fuel margin acting as a supporting cast member rather than the headline act. The in-store pricing at Sunoco locations, particularly those in highway and airport-adjacent positions, reflects the same captive audience logic as the pump price. Bottom line, Sunoco is the Pompeii of value positioning. What was once a competitive regional brand has become a premium-priced captive audience extraction machine, dressed in familiar blue and yellow branding that still carries the ghost of its former reputation. Do not let the legacy name fool you into thinking legacy pricing still applies. The other side of the ledger. All right, enough punishment. Let us talk about the 3 brands that are actually on your side. The ones with business models built around giving you the lowest possible price per gallon rather than extracting the highest one your geography will allow. Best Buy brand. 1. Murphy USA. Murphy USA is the best gas station brand most American drivers have never consciously noticed. That is by design. Murphy operates small footprint stations, sometimes little more than a canopy, a few pumps, and a minimal kiosk, almost exclusively in the parking lots of Walmart supercenters across 37 states. There is no premium branding, no V-Power, no Techron, no Synergy. There is no lavish corporate identity to maintain, just fuel. At a price that GasBuddy consistently places 10 to 18 cents below the national average per gallon. The real kicker is the business model logic behind that pricing. Murphy USA's site strategy is a masterclass in overhead elimination. By co-locating with Walmart, Murphy eliminates the real estate acquisition cost that drives Shell and Chevron to charge you for their corner lots. The Walmart traffic footprint provides the volume, the small physical format minimizes operating costs. The result is a company that can sustain razor-thin fuel margins because every other cost line has been engineered out of existence. GasBuddy has ranked Murphy USA among the top 3 cheapest fuel chains in the United States in multiple consecutive annual surveys. Murphy is not accidentally cheap, it is structurally cheap, built from the ground up to price fuel below the market because volume, not margin, is the revenue driver. And get this, Murphy USA stations accept all major credit cards without surcharges, and their fuel consistently meets top-tier additive certification. So you are not sacrificing engine protection or payment convenience for the price advantage. You are simply skipping the marketing budget, the premium real estate, and the franchise markup. Translation: this is what gasoline actually costs when a company stops trying to make you pay for its brand story. Best Buy brand. 2. Sam's Club. Sam's Club is Walmart's warehouse club division, and its fuel operation follows the same philosophy as its parent company's entire retail model: sell at the lowest sustainable margin and make it up in volume and membership fees. The result is a gas station experience that consistently undercuts the national average by 15 to 25 cents per gallon, according to GasBuddy annual data. Here is the thing: Sam's Club fuel locations operate on the same structural advantages as Murphy USA. Co-location with a high-traffic retail anchor, minimal overhead, no premium, branding costs, but add a membership layer that actually works in the consumer's favor rather than against it. The Sam's Club Plus membership, at $110 per year, includes an additional 5 cents per gallon discount on top of already below-average base pricing. Run that math for the average driver. If you have a 14-gallon tank and fill up twice a week at 20 cents below the national average, you are saving approximately $290 per year before the Plus member discount. Add the 5-cent Plus discount, and that figure climbs toward $360 to $400 annually. The $110 membership fee pays for itself in fuel savings alone within the first 4 to 5 months, and everything after that is pure savings on top of the warehouse club benefits. And get this, Sam's Club has a broader geographic footprint than Costco in many rural and suburban markets, making it the more accessible warehouse fuel option for drivers who do not live within easy range of a Costco. Over 600 Sam's Club fuel locations nationally, concentrated heavily in the South, Midwest, and Southeast, exactly the markets where Marathon and Sunoco have built their captive audience premium pricing infrastructure. Bottom line, Sam's Club is not a compromise. It is a genuinely superior fuel value proposition dressed in an orange and blue membership card. Best Buy brand. 3. Costco. Here is the gold standard of pump prices. Costco Wholesale is not technically a gas station chain. It is a warehouse retailer that happens to sell gasoline as a loss leader, a product priced below market specifically to generate member foot traffic and reinforce the perceived value of the Costco membership itself. That distinction matters enormously because it means Costco's fuel pricing is not constrained by the need to make money on fuel. It is constrained only by how low they can go while maintaining supply logistics. The answer, according to GasBuddy data and ALA regional surveys, is 18 to 30 cents below the national average per gallon. That is not a rounding difference. That is a fundamentally different price tier. A driver filling a 14-gallon tank at Costco versus Shell twice a week will save between $360 and $560 per year on fuel alone. The $65 Gold Star membership pays for itself in fuel savings within the first 6 to 10 weeks for a typical commuter. Here is where it gets truly compelling. Costco owns its fuel supply contracts directly. No franchise layer, no spot market exposure eating into margins, no middleman between the bulk purchase and the pump price. Their stations run on volume and efficiency rather than margin per gallon, which is precisely why the Costco pump line is frequently the longest in the parking lot. The market has already figured this out, and get this, Costco fuel is top-tier certified the same. Deposit control additive standards that Shell charges you a 12-cent premium to access are present in Costco's fuel at 30 cents below the price Shell is charging. That is not a minor footnote. That is the entire consumer case against the premium fuel narrative in a single data point. The real kicker is that Costco's model is so structurally advantaged that the only genuine limiting factor is access. Not every market has a Costco, and membership is required. But if you live within a reasonable distance of one, and you drive a typical American commuter vehicle, choosing any other fill-up option on a regular basis is the automotive equivalent of throwing cash out the window at highway speed. Bottom line, Costco is not the cheapest gas station in America by accident. It is the cheapest because its entire business model is built around making fuel cheap. Every other brand on today's list prices fuel to extract maximum margin from your geography, your brand loyalty, or your captive position. Costco prices fuel to make sure you keep your membership card in your wallet. The bottom line. The fuel market is a battlefield. On one side, Shell, BP, Chevron, ExxonMobil, Marathon, and Sunoco. 6 brands whose pricing models, franchise structures, and marketing strategies are optimized to maximize what they take from your wallet per gallon. On the other side, Murphy USA, Sam's Club, and Costco, 3 brands whose business models are built around volume, efficiency, and giving the consumer a genuine price advantage. The gap between those two sides is not small. We are talking about the difference between $300 and $800 a year for the average American household. That is real money, extracted one fill-up at a time by brands counting on habit, convenience, and the assumption that you will not do the math. Here is the one actionable step that will immediately change your fuel economics. Download the GasBuddy app and check it every single time. Before you fill up, GasBuddy aggregates real-time price data from stations in your area, ranks them by cost, and will consistently point you toward Murphy USA, Sam's Club, Costco, or whichever local independent is running cheapest that day. It takes 30 seconds and it compounds into hundreds of dollars of annual savings with zero lifestyle change required. The brands with the highest prices are counting on your autopilot. The brands with the lowest prices are counting on you to notice them. Today, you have no excuse not to. Hit subscribe if you want the truth about where your money is actually going. MotorMind does not take sponsorships from fuel brands, does not run ads for oil companies, and does not soften the data to protect anyone's quarterly earnings report. Just the numbers, just the truth, every single time.